Hi there, Helen. Thank you for sending us your new set of essays, your first set of essays with us. Let's take a look and see what you did. The first one is about schools being more entertaining, so here's what you wrote. Over the years, classes are conducted at school in order to provide knowledge to learners. However, in recent decades, pupils are expecting to learn in more interesting ways. Discussion over the role of school remains contentious. In my opinion, schools shall promote a positive and entertaining learning culture. In this essay, I would use the examples of from Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan to illustrate my viewpoints. All right, this is pretty good. You've done a nice job overall, but there are some things that I do want to change here, okay? So let's take it line by line, and we'll make some adjustments, okay? So first of all, over the years is a time marker. So you need to use a different tense here. It should be, over the years, classes have been conducted at school in order to provide knowledge to learners. Even when we correct it like that, it does sound a little unnatural. Not so much that classes are conducted. I mean, it's true. But the whole sentence just sounds a little strange for some reason. So I think it's more important to get to the point a little faster. So why don't we do something like this? Over the years, the aim of school has been to provide knowledge to learners. Okay, so here I think it makes a little more sense. It's the this has been their goal. To help students gain knowledge rather than just classes are conducted. So just changing it up a little bit. I think it sounds a little better. I hope that you agree too. So then let's see. However, in recent decades, pupils have begun expecting. Again, in recent decades requires a certain tense. So let's change it to what I just said. However, in recent decades, pupils have begun expecting to learn in more interesting ways. Now, I didn't really feel like this sentence was necessary. Okay? I felt like what happened here in this sentence 1, 2, and 3, there really wasn't a very good link between them. And so that's something I would have liked to see improved. So let's just try removing that sentence for a moment and then continuing. In my opinion, school should, not shall, schools should promote a positive and entertaining learning culture. In this essay, I will use the examples from Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan to illustrate my viewpoints. Okay, that's better. Now, the other thing that I want you to be careful about is this word here. You wrote learning in more interesting ways. Yes, but I do want you to be careful because the idea here is about entertainment. You see, this is your key word here. They have to be more entertaining. So what do we mean by entertaining? Well, entertainment is fun. It's amusement. It's laughter. It's lightheartedness. It's games. It's play. It's maybe watching something funny. This is what we mean by entertaining. Okay. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind as you're writing this. Interesting is not always entertaining. So something entertaining might be interesting, but you have to be careful with this word here, okay? Because you might get off topic. That's why I'm saying this. All right, we spent a ton of time on your introduction, so let's move on to the body paragraphs. Firstly, students' learning interest increases when academic information is presented in a funnier style. Good. Except you're not talking about one student, so it's many students. It should be S apostrophe. I don't think you mean deal. I think you mean do. Due to the fact that mobile media are more popular, students are keen on technological learning. For example, digital books with animation, which are widely used in Hong Kong's primary schools. All right, that's not a full sentence. It's a fragment, so we have to fix that grammar. You could have said, for example, digital books with animation are widely used in Hong Kong's primary schools. Okay, you didn't need the which. Students revealed that these books, so ESE, do not only help to illustrate abstract concepts clearly, but also enhance students' self-learning ability. By raising youngsters' learning interest at school, it encourages them to learn continuously. Okay. What's missing for me here is a little bit again of this aspect of entertainment. You started off really strongly, but then you kind of lost this idea of how important entertainment is in school. Let me show you what I mean. So, you said when it's presented in a funnier style, that was perfect. And then you said that students were interested in this technological learning. And then you said that Hong Kong uses this. And then you talked about these abstract concepts and self-learning ability. Okay, and then learning continuously again. So you started off with this idea of fun and funny, but then you kind of just continued talking about what students learn, how learning is improved, and so forth. So, okay, but again, you need to continue with this idea of entertainment. Okay. So, let's see. By adding something here, you could have continued with this idea of fun. So, students revealed that not only is this media more entertaining, but it helps illustrate abstract concepts clearly and enhances student self-learning ability. Okay, so that would have worked. Really just that additional little segment there mentioning that, look, the whole point of this is that it's more entertaining, it's more engaging, it's more everything. Okay, let's move on. There's one thing you forgot to add here. Don't forget that we like to add a kind of conclusive statement here, which links back to the beginning of the paragraph. Okay, it links to your topic sentence. So, just kind of wrap it up with a nice conclusive sentence, starting with consequently, therefore, thus, something like that. All right, let's move on. Secondly, with multiple extracurricular activities, students are attracted to school. In Singapore, lessons are conducted in monostyle with tests and examination imposed regularly. Attendance of students in university in comparison to high school is shown to decline sharply when who is they? Attendance of students in university in comparison to high school is shown to decline sharply when, I guess they is the students. Okay. When students are no longer not confided by the school campus. Whereas in Japan, teenagers express that they are keen on school as different activities, for instance, sports day, swimming gala. For instance, sports day and swimming gala are regularly organized, allowing them to have an all-around development. Okay, therefore, fun extracurricular activities bring students to school and keep them there. Okay, again, just that kind of rounding off sentence here. Okay, so a couple of things about this. First of all, one of the things that I want us to work on in your future essays is some cohesion. What do I mean? I mean that you've got these nice sentences, but they don't really totally link together. Okay, so let me tell you what I mean. So you talked about students being attracted to schools where there are extracurricular activities, and then you said here in Singapore. And then you talked about attendance, and then whereas in Japan. So, I didn't really understand where you were going and how these ideas sort of linked to one another. And so that's one thing that's really important, especially if you're trying to get a high score in coherence and cohesion. So let's change a few things around here. Okay, first of all, it's not so much that students are attracted to school. The word you're really looking for is retention. So schools with extracurricular activities have better records of student retention. So then you could have said something like studies in Singapore with its, I don't really know what monostyle meant, but studies show that Singapore with regular tests and examinations imposed regularly showed lower attendance of students in university in comparison to high school, as students are no longer confined by the school campus. And then you could say, in contrast, retention in Japan is much higher, as teenagers express that they are keen on school, as different activities and like sports day and swimming gala are regularly organized, allowing them to have an all-around development. Now, that's a rather long sentence, but I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to get at. You need to sort of make these ideas link together a little better, okay? And then, of course, we have to talk about fun, the idea of entertainment, and that's what the key here is. All right, let's move on. To conclude, the main goal of school is to enrich one's knowledge. However, presenting information with not various diversity, this is rather redundant, okay? So, presenting information with various methods nurtures the new generation holistically, okay? You don't need the it here. I believe that in the future, with the help of new technology and innovation, single direction lectures will be eliminated. Okay, that's nice. All right, so we've talked really a lot about your first essay, things that are strong about it. There are some strong elements to this essay, to be certain. A lot of your vocabulary is good. A lot of your grammar is good. I definitely want us to work on some of this cohesion, on how to kind of make your ideas flow together and kind of link together better, and to make stronger paragraphs, so make the logic and the ideas kind of progress together a little better. Okay, so that's one thing for sure. And then, of course, remembering what the key aim here of this essay is and understanding what they're asking you to talk about. So, a lot of time on this first essay. Let's take a look at your second one. Okay, this is the one about the enjoyable activity, so let's see what you said. Playing and sports help to build up essential skills and imagination in children. Someone suggests that the benefits may even outweigh the advantages of reading books. From my personal view, I totally agree that participating in physical activities is more beneficial to child growth. In the essay, examples from playing games and physical sports would be included to illustrate my viewpoints. All right, Helen, so fine. Again, it's good, but there are some things we need to rework. So let's try that again, okay? Playing and sports help to build essential skills and imagination in children. Some, not someone, some suggest that the benefits may even outweigh the advantages of reading books. From my personal view, I totally agree that participating in physical activities is more beneficial to children's '(s) growth. In this essay, examples from playing games or physical sports will be included, okay? And then you're fine. So let's move on. Firstly, although numerous knowledge is uncountable, so you can't say that it's numerous. So you could just say something else like, firstly, although substantial knowledge can be learned by reading, some senses and abilities development. Let's try it. Some senses and ability, singular, development can hardly be covered. For instance, when playing on game consoles, it does not only help to develop active skills, but also sharpen one's spatial awareness. According to research in Japan, teenagers spending 1 hour, with no S, per day on video games such as Ring Fit and Mario Odyssey by Nintendo Switch are sensitive on spatial perception and 3D dimension. These sensory and virtual stimulations are limited in printed words. Okay, I'm fine with that. Let's move on. In addition, multiple motor skills and cognitive abilities must be developed with physical sports. Take, for example, the sense of balance required, with a D, for cycling. The hand-eye coordination involved in ball games, as well as strategic thinking and airsoft shooting. Training of these abilities through physical activities is irreplaceable by reading. All right, this paragraph is really underdeveloped. It's 3 sentences long. And it's just not enough. You didn't really say a lot. So it kind of reads like a list. Let me show you what I mean. You say that motor skills and cognitive abilities are developed with sports. And then you talk about these 1, 2, 3 things just as a list. And then you say that you can't get them through reading. So it's just not enough. You needed to go into a little more detail. You needed to develop these ideas a little more and explain to us what you mean. Also, some of the grammar was wrong. I just wanted to read it through before I fixed any of that. So, the sense of balance required for reading, the hand-eye coordination involved in ball games, as well as strategic thinking and airsoft shooting. I don't even know what that is, but that's okay. Training of these abilities through physical activities is irreplaceable. That doesn't really make sense. Training of these abilities through physical activities, cannot be replaced by reading. I guess that maybe makes a little more sense. It's irreplaceable by reading. All right, I guess it's fine. I just had to think about it a couple of times. You could see that I had to kind of wrap my head around it, but I guess it's fine. Okay. Despite the fact that it is advantageous to read, it is essential for youngsters, with an S, to sharpen various abilities by engaging in other events. Therefore, I absolutely agree that doing an enjoyable activity is beneficial. Okay, fine. However, let's talk now about some other stuff. Let me do a quick word count. I can tell you right now that this is under length. Yep, it's 226 words. So if this were an actual exam, this would really cost you. I mean, you'd be at least like 1 band score down for task achievement. And part of the reason for that was that you didn't develop this paragraph enough. Okay, this one here. There really just wasn't enough writing, enough development here. So that's something you absolutely would have to work on. That was the first thing. Now let's talk about the second thing, which is just as important, if not more important. Take a look at the task. It says, develop better skills and more creativity. So you talked about skills, that's for sure. You talked about them here, active skills, spatial awareness. Here you talked about the coordination, strategic thinking, etc. But there's nothing about creativity anywhere. And they absolutely want you to talk about creativity, and they expect you to, which is why they separated it from other skills. Okay? They talk about better skills and more creativity. So you needed to develop the idea of creativity as well. And that "and" here is your clue. Okay? If they had said "or," then you could have chosen not to talk about it. But when you see that "and," they expect you to talk about absolutely everything, both of those things. All right? So, for your first set of essays, it's a good job, Helen. I want you to take the suggestions in this video along with everything you're learning in the course and apply them to your next set of essays. I want you to correct these essays and also create an error correction list where you write down the mistakes that were pointed out to you and then the correct version right next to each one. That's a list you'll add to with each essay. So I'm looking forward to 3 things from you: the corrected essays, the error correction list, and a new set of essays. So I hope you get started on them, and we'll see another essay from you in the next day or so. Good luck.